Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Damage Control. This is Mookie, joined with Darth and Dell. And today's conversation on this particular show is going to be about Cosmic Crucible. So we're going to dive down deep into our personal experiences. It's all going to be a rough cut here because I have some stuff I want to share with you guys, and I definitely got to leave it up to see what the gentlemen want to share about their experiences and what they've been facing with too. So it's going to be all conversation based. Hopefully you enjoy it. And but I will show some little footages that I got saved up, and maybe on a separate video I can kind of outline all the videos that I'm trying to save with my Cosmic Crucible play, just for those that just want to see the battles and see what works and what doesn't. So I'll definitely have that up there on my channel as well. So stay I can talk, stay tuned for that. All right, but let's jump into it, gentlemen. Let me cut off this little music that I'm hearing. Right off the bat, I just want to hear how did you do, Darth? I mean, within the first week, everything's new, right? But overall record, I mean, how'd you come out? How'd you fare this week?
Two.
1 and 2?
I got my butt kicked. Yeah.
And how about for you, Dale?
3-0.
Huh?
Nice.
All right, man. Well, congrats to you. All right, at least we shared the record across the board. So you went 3-0. I got to 2-1. And of course, but you're a little bit harder difficulty setting than us, Darth. So you went 1 and 2. But nothing to be, just all we had to do is, what did they say that Moon? All you can do is go up from there. I'm trying to figure out what I want to do. I guess I'll start off on my defensive side. Let's talk about that first. Is there anything that you feel that you want to do differently, Darth? I mean, as far as setups, are you 100% like for this season? Is Wakanda gonna stay in room 6?
Yes, probably.
Yeah,
But for right now, my thought is that yes, they're gonna sit there, and I'm not gonna play with them on offense for this whole season.
yeah, and I feel the same way. How about for you, Dale?
I think so. And I mean, they're not as bad as everyone thought they were going to be,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't see a better option for that team. Put me for that spot. So I
Yeah,
feel like they're going to stay there for at least for now.
yeah, and I'm gonna be, peeking in or jumping in back and forth between the master of spreadsheets or infographics with Benny here, and I'm trying to see if I can zoom in right. Oh, this is room 6 over here. This is kind of what the theory is that these are like going to be the best efficient setups on room 6, and there's different combinations that you can go with, whether it's the War Dogs or OG Wakanda, and then now I guess I kind of pause a little bit, seeing that Dormammu there, but there's some people are going to be doing that. And then he has some possible counters there, and I don't know how it all works out, but the gist of it, though, kind of what you're saying, Dale, it didn't seem as scary because there was a counter that people started running into, and that was the Darkhold team currently. So jumping back into that, Darth, I mean, did you have any matchups there that you had to use Darkhold with, or who did you go in with to counter the Wakandans?
My Darkhold on defense for the first two Crucibles.
Mhm.
So I did not beat the Wakandan team my first Crucible, and I beat the second team, but it was a 2-tap. And I can't remember what I used, but by the third round, I pulled my Darkhold from defense and put them on offense, and then I one-shot room 6 quite easily.
This is yeah, I did use the Darkhold on that team, and I was able to do it good. I think the theory or what we're hearing from Mobile Gamer is that if people are having a little bit harder time against the OG ones. So this is a War Dog kind of setup that I won against, and it was a one shot for me, so I was lucky on that one. And then this particular battle here for my stage 5, what did they have set up? They did have the Tangle Web team there. And this one, I went with the same theory. I went in with that tank team. And if you can see it there, I'm trying to see if I can blow it up better. But yeah, I did that, where Spider-Verse goes up, or 2099 goes and does his thing to get rid of his ability. And then I followed up with the same type of, counter that we have had. And it worked for me. So, I mean, on that, did you kind of go to the same thing, Darth?
I did on my first day, yeah. That's what I did. I think I pulled my limited into that room the next day.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a couple different things that'll work for that. It's not quite. There's a lot of so especially that particular setup is not nearly as terrifying as it was with Age of X.
Mm-hmm. exactly. And then, not about for you, Dell. Did you run into any tangle webs in that room 5?
Yeah, I pretty much ran into them each round. I used my limited, I think, each time.
Okay, that's where because I remember you told us that you were going to keep them on offense. You're unlimited, so um,
I'm still fading on them.
yeah. So I wanted to pause. I mean, really, what I want to talk about today. I mean, obviously, we're kind of going room by room here, but just look at like this. This is something food for thought for those that really want to theory craft. So when you look into the Spider Verse and you look at that tangle web on there, you see that like they give the boost over to primarily is Noir, right? When it comes in stealth, that character gains 20% damage.
Yes.
All right. And then it talks about reducing the resistance by 20% for any characters with bleed. So then he comes up with that opening attack, and what does he do? He puts the bleed out. All right. So they're going to reduce some resistance onto us that are trying to battle. And that's it. I mean, to me, that's it.
Yeah, there's not
Um,
much. It's not a huge room boost for him.
it's not. And I use that because I'll jump on and as I try to sort through some of this information I saved. But really what my one opponent, because I went 2-0, I went to the championship round, and when I went to that last round, I was clearing everything was good, and it all came into this particular room over here, which is room 3, which is where the theory crafting starts, because it talks about on defense any fortifier that uses an ultimate ability spreads all positive effects to adjacent allies. And it says on any striker's turn, barrier that character for plus 5% of that character's max health, barrier, and flip offensive down. This is what I'm talking about. So this is the room I could not clear. I think I don't have it down here, but I want to say I tried to even go in with the tank. I did. I used a tank team, which is not showing, where I wanted to get rid of 29's opening attack. And then I followed it up with the new, hopefully, hotness within the Masters of Evil, where I got Titania and I have Ultron here. And then I try to use that speed. I noticed that, like, okay, his setup over here is that he used Tangle Web in room 3. He has to fortify on 2099. And then I think he has them set up this way. But he has, but I got rid of the opening attack. So I'm just thinking, all right, well, maybe that would help me. But really what it comes down to is now Eternal versus Eternal type setup. And who's going to go boom, boom first. Um, so, I have a video. We'll take a look at it. So here it is in its short fashion. Um, I don't think I make the, but what I was real scared of is like I got Ultron bots coming through. I got a weak Loki as I'm facing against the Eternals, and that's where my fear is. And I totally forgot I put the bots out there. Spoiler. But the interesting thing to kind of look at is just that opening, right? I mean, there was 29. He was able to go off. Or did I miss Noir? Did he go?
Noir went first, yeah.
Yeah, he did, right? Because I got bleed out there. So just anything to learn from is just kind of understanding the opening attacks. There it is. Noir does go first, bleeds, and then there's the special. And now I have a decision. I got to do rewind, right? But I'm trying to think where do I want the vulnerable to be, and I'm thinking I want to go after Weaver. But I didn't get Loki to go first. I was hoping that Loki would do something where I can attack someone before that opener, and I didn't kill anybody off my ultimate. So now I felt like I was drawing dead. And there's Loki. That's what I was wishing. I can't remember. I mean, do you know the turn order? Darth, like, does Loki normally go before
In
Icarus's?
normal circumstances, Loki goes before Icarus.
Yeah. That's why I was
So I
kind of,
don't know what happened, why he didn't.
yeah. So
Uh,
something slowed me up. And because of that aspect of it, I felt that's where I was like, well, that went backwards.
Then,
And
doesn't 2099 have a slow?
I think he hit somebody there. Did something where it slowed him up.
but he used his ultimate. His ultimate doesn't have a slow. His ultimate has the ability block.
Yeah. So it was something interesting there. So that really screwed me all up because I couldn't go boom boom, right? I went first, didn't kill anybody. And then now I'm like, all right. So anyways, I had this, and then now the decision is like, okay, who do I select to try to attack? Um, I don't know. I mean, I just didn't know who to use. To me, it didn't really matter. But so that's why I'm pausing, and I'm like, well, Oh, no. Shout out to Updog, by
That's
the
the
way. There's a brotherhood.
that's the choice that I would have made probably too.
Yeah, but here's where finally. So really, what I'm learning is that okay, at least Titania is getting her attack off before Weaver. Right. I mean, that's what I'm trying to learn from this particular battle, because she has an ability block to open up with. And I didn't have all her T4s. I don't know if the T4 gives her 2 ability blocks later or not, but there it is. I can land that, and I don't have to worry about the charges. But here's like,
Oops.
yeah, it's like, and what I did that, because here in theory, I was hoping that like the bots will come speed up my Ultron and maybe I can kind of go after Icarus, but look at his health bar.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm like, so that was the theory on why I went at that. Didn't happen. Here's my
Goodbye.
boom boom, and that's it.
Ultron with no bots. You got it.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, here it is. Now that was what I was hoping for, but it's too late for all of that. So I'm done. So I force closed it. And then I try to follow it up with Gamma. I was just testing. At that point, I was like, "Nah, I don't think this is gonna work. But let me just, I was curious because I never used Gamma on offense before. And I had him. And this was supposed to be for a counter for the unlimited team, where is a counter for them right now. Or,
Right.
mobile goes into the depth about what you need to do with Braun and stuff. I won't break it all down there. But he didn't have a limit on defense, so I figured, you know what, let me give him a shot, see how that works out. And yeah, as you can tell, I just let it play out. It was my last attack. I died. I didn't do anything to them. And I kind of, if anything, you can kind of see that there's a chance, there's a possibility off of this. But like you said, I mean, we don't have the testing. We have to kind of do it on one shot, one attempt, and see what happens, kind of thing. But I'll try to figure that one out. But overall, I mean, I guess the gist of all for that and why I wanted to show it to you guys is that going back into our room defensive setups, I think to have room 3 is the key one. That's going to be the season, in my opinion. We kind of already know that, line by line, it was like, here's Wakanda and here's your Spider-Verse teams. And of course, here's Unlimited Room 4 when you're thinking about like the turtle approach. Um, but now this room kind of leaves things open where season 1 or the last season, Tango Web was like the pain in the butts in Gamma. And I think you're going to see
Yeah.
some more composition within those 2 pain in the butts are going to come into room 3. It's just me forecasting. That's my early guess. But for me, I did this setup right here. I may change it. I may steal what those guys are doing. Honestly, I am going to steal. I'm going to put my Tango over here. And that's the changes that I'm going to start making is I'm going to put Tango over here. I'm going to kind of, I need to figure out who the fillers are going to be. I don't know if I want to keep it with the Undying or not. Because a lot of people are using Undying for counters. And it's just interesting. I don't know. And I know you do it on War. So what's the theory between using Undying against Darkhold, Darth?
Um, in war it works because um, the early ability block from Zombie Iron Man, and then Hela comes out and spreads it.
Hmm.
And it comes with trauma from Iron Man, so that when you put it on Morgan Le Fay, she never goes into stealth, and you can just hammer her down and kill her before Wong gets to taunt. And usually the ability block isn't spread to Wong, so Wong can't taunt. It just all works out.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And
It's
with
it's better it's better on a dorm hold though, because when your Gregs explode, they take away revive once. And so you can take a tougher team with the exact same amount of stuff, basically.
all right. Yeah. So we'll see. I mean, I
Before
don't
you
know.
get off there though, on your in your room 4, you're gonna want to move Gambit next to Rogue.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's right. Because of that whole Brown thing we're talking about and the rewind.
The
Talking about the
rewind,
rewind.
because you don't want to rewind Gambit, because you want him to go first before Abomination. Then Abomination can stun him, and if he crits and gets the what the hell is it called? The evade up, then Abomination still goes next, and he'll clear the evade, and then Braun can definitely steal all of the buffs.
Yeah. Let's take a look at that. So this proper setup. I know they had to be next to each other, but is it Rogue on the far right or
Yeah, Rogue on an end. That's how I have it. I have Rogue on the far right, and then Gambit.
next to her?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think this other setup, but that's a key thing right there, right? Is that he gets hit when she taunts.
Yeah.
Okay. or like they want to take off the revive off of her because I think
So the
yeah.
key is so that they're going to go if they don't rewind rogue, it doesn't work. You have to rewind rogue.
Mhm.
So you go rewind rogue, and that rewinds Gambit, which makes your Abomination go before Gambit, and Abomination can't stun anybody this season in that room because they've all got immunity.
I want to talk about Tango Web real quick with Dell. So we look at Benny Westside's graphic. I saw one of my opponents, actually that last guy that I wish I had your name. I'm sorry. Kudos to you who beat me. I should have properly been paying attention to your I'm sure I can find it somewhere. But anyways, he did this Death Seed. He did the Death Seed counter against my Tango squad right there with the Undying. So have you seen any videos still, or like I have not heard or seen or how that works. Do you know in theory how why they beat the Tango Web?
I have not seen any videos on Undying versus Tangled Web.
Uh,
I know they work great versus Darkhold, but I have not seen Undying.
yeah, or the Death Seed, right? Or the Death Seed.
Yep.
Um, yeah, I haven't tried it. How about you, Darth? I mean, have you tried Death Seed against
No,
any Tango Web?
not against the Tangled Web teams. No.
Okay, I'm gonna do it when I lose like that. I may say this last just to kind of see it. Well, I don't know how I'm gonna do that. If I want to use, I don't know. We'll see. But it's interesting. I want to. I need to surf around the internets a little bit and kind of see how this is all playing out. Because he one shot at my squad, and I was like, damn, okay. So yeah, I mean, there's something there, and I'm just thinking it's probably gonna be within like maybe the blind gets up on Weaver a certain way or does something to her where she can't go off, but. It's an interesting setup, but that's just, food for thought for those that are thinking about, their offensive defenses approaches and who they want to use. But really in theory, I think where I'm getting at is that like you don't want like you really don't see Def Seed on defense. It looks like they're a possible counter to use for Tango Web. So you want to keep them on your offense's teams. And as we go into the other setup, we talked about Unlimited and Forward. I think that's going to be kind of a staple for most. And there is the Gamma counter to the right of that. And depending on RNG, I think that really what it boils down to, whether you get, whether he crits or not, Gambit, it's kind of makes or break your game. But then here's the room three, and I seen a lot of Fury setups, but there's also going to be Zemo. So really, the approach is off your fortifiers is that your fortifier selection is going to be who gets that turn one first approach, and that's where that 99 did what he needed to do, which I use a burner team for to take that away, and I think that's what you probably you're going to have to start seeing a little bit depending on your matchup. And then your rooms one and two, that's kind of where I've seen some people using their dark code, and I guess some people are using the I can't think of the team up there in the top.
Infinity Watch.
Infinity Watch, yeah, and the sleeper team. But yeah, I mean they're still doing stuff there. But I mean that's all I have on my side of my experiences within the game. I mean anything that as I'm gonna look through my folder real quick for something else to mention. I guess really just thoughts and opinions. I mean, is the season more exciting than what you've assumed? I know you like the game, Darth. I know you like Cosmic Crucible, but I kind of felt like in the beginning there was some sentiment of like, oh man, they making this cookie cutter approach and this is sucks and all that kind of stuff. We always kind of, I guess it's just in general. In 2022 2023 approaches that we're too quick to judge on certain stuff. And I was kind of like, listening and hearing that sentiment. But when I did this first week, because it was fresh and new overall, I don't have any negative sentiments. I mean, were you excited about facing new defenses? Like, what was your overall first take of this new season?
Dude, I was thrilled. I thought it was great. Weapon X had gotten, or Age of X had gotten very, very stale. They'd gone on for too long, and it was nice to have the change. And yeah, some of the changes are a little cookie cutter. Like almost everybody's gonna have their Wakanda 6. That's what you're gonna see forever. But like you mentioned, that room 3 is gonna make for some very interesting things to happen. And seeing what your opponent did this week, putting his Tangled Web in there and putting 99 as a fortifier so that he spreads all that to the other two members super fast and right out the gate. Like that's a cool idea. And again, it's just another sweet opportunity to have some theory crafting and things like that. Because when you did that, he moved Spider-Verse out of room 5, which is set up for him, and he moved him somewhere else. So his room 5, he didn't probably have any Spider-Verse that got, the same benefit as Noir does, unless it was, I guess it would be Miles if you put Miles in there, but still the benefit's not going to be enough to put a Miles-based team up on defense. So it's a really cool like give and take. So you can put your Tangled in 5, or you can put him in 3 with a fortifier and make him a little tougher and a little crazier, and then put something else in 3 that's not Tangled but still could be equally as tough. But because you moved your Tangled to 3, they're actually tougher than they would have been in room 5. It's just there's so much give and take. It's so cool to have to think about things in that term, like because of room 3. Like after the first week, I think they did a pretty good job with it,
Yeah,
with their rule setup and stuff like that.
yeah, exactly. That's 100% how I feel. When for you, Dell, same sentiment. I mean, how did you feel? What was your first impression of this first week?
Definitely, glad to see something new, and I feel like it was much better than everyone thought it was gonna be. A lot of people were very frustrated with this at first, but it's pretty interesting. And I feel like there's some teams that are surprises because people underestimate them. Like I have Axemen in the mutant room. I got 2 wins off of them this week because people just they think, oh, it's not HX anymore. They're not gonna be a problem.
So like this one right here, I mean, Def C was able to knock off this Young Avenger. It takes so long. I mean, for Young Avengers, are you going to put them on defense or do you have them on offense?
I have him on defense right now.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna do the
Just moved
same.
mine to defense. I didn't use them all last week,
Okay.
so I was seem to do better for me than what I had in that one spot on defense.
Yeah, I think that's the right approach because even on with this Def C team, I mean, it took me forever. I mean, we don't have to watch it, but I mean, it just in theory, I just wanted to kind of show that that's a it is a counter, but it takes a while. So it's good to put Young Avengers on defense. Um, here's here's that one setup that we still kind of I'm trying to get it on here. That still works against Gamma when they're in room 1 or 2. Did you do this, Darth, where you put in your Omega Red and Red Guardian?
See any gamma this week
No?
to
Okay.
fight. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So if they're not boosted, of course, it's probably gonna start clocking. But yeah, this still works. So I was able to get this victory off of it. Sometimes I think depending on how meaty your gamma that you're facing, sometimes you only kill Red Hulk, you may leave somebody out on there. But if you're lucky enough and fortunate enough, like I was able to go ahead and clear that team off. So that composition still works.
And I feel that the Death Seed will do a lot more on offense than people think it will. Like I kept mine on offense originally to take a Darkhold team out. And what I find myself using them for now is these really big 1 million plus Underworld Zemo Red Skull teams.
Hmm.
Because my Infinity Watch is doing other things usually, and I don't want to put them there. So I've been using them against that, and they're so fast and so strong that it just annihilates that whole team.
Well, I'll go ahead and wrap it up here for Cosmic Crucible discussions there. So hopefully I'll tidy things up a little bit. At least I'm saving some stuff, right? So normally I don't have a video to show, but hopefully we learned something a little bit there within the setups and theory crafting behind the rooms, that what people want to do. So I'm gonna start working on my defense accordingly. The big takeaway again that I wanted to kind of bring up, at least from my opinion, is that the juice for the squeeze within the Spider-Verse stealth and the bleeds right here, I don't think it's much. I think the theory of trying to put your best hardcore defense in room 3 and then use a fortifier matchup accordingly is going to be the way to go. And then we'll see. But, we'll see what people do and we'll continue to discuss. And then hopefully, you guys enjoyed the show there. Hopefully you enjoyed our conversation. But till then, enjoy the rest of your week. Enjoy your battles. And we'll have, we'll have this conversation next week again on Sunday. All right, bye-bye.